Okay, first we're going to start here. It says you do not approach these situations lightly. A captain wouldn't care if he has any information. Izu then goes, they wouldn't, and she says, she or he, whatever, says he's a Quincy, barrier breach. Okay, that's incorrect. So let's just go ahead and I'm going to be very specific, okay? This, actually, this is better yet. One sec. That is incorrect, okay? Because as far as the plot has progressed, anyone that comes in, there's a possibility they have information and therefore needs to be, like, contacted. Like, they need the captain, the head captain, commanding officer, or the advisor, which is Dio, need to be contacted in regards to this. Now, moving on. I'm going to move very slowly so we can see this whole thing, unfold. Okay? Just going to keep going. Okay, then we're going to scroll to, okay. To say that others don't care, though, isn't really accurate. Now, if you read all this, it seems like all those guys are assuming that no one else in the squad cares about the Quincy, even though they're the ones who obviously don't know what the plot has progressed so far, because they have chosen to not, like, communicate with the other captains and the other squad members to figure out where we are in the plot. So yeah, I agree with Izo. It's obvious to say that others wouldn't care, though, isn't really accurate. They're obviously assuming that the other captains wouldn't care about any information, blah, blah, blah. They're assuming it. They don't, they're not paying attention to the plot or anything. Now we're just going to scroll down. They do use that word nigga a lot, though. That's kind of, I don't know. And she goes on to assume that he's, like, all of a sudden a suspect because he casually talked with the enemy. He casually talked with the enemy because we're in the middle of trying to deal with the peace treaty. But on the other note, though, no one can just simply waltz into the Sarietti without being questioned and etc. You don't just automatically attack them. That's ridiculous. And also, your previous comment in staff chat about Crazy not being in this chat was inaccurate. Crazy was in here. He was commenting all over everything. Now, where he says right here, a treaty can be created but still broken, I'm confused because we've not created the treaty yet. We're working on creating it. That's probably why De Quincy came over, was to try and establish the treaty to where we can progress the plot and move on to the next chapter. This dude's talking about jumping, no mercy. And then they contradict themselves. They say, we won't be attacking, we'll just be investigating. But they clearly attacked and freaking everything went crazy. Why did it not scroll through the rest of the messages? Wait a minute, I just read the messages that were right here. Which seems to me, trying to find the other messages from Izu. Oh. Read that, okay? You're gonna read this entire thing, okay? We're gonna open it up. Okay? You're gonna read this whole thing. That is completely understandable. Okay? Because that's not how we do things. If communication had been immense, like if people actually communicated, then you all would know, everyone would know that, hey, this is how we do it here, this is how far our plot's gone, and this is what's going on. We want it to naturally unfold, but we want it to also follow the plot and the history of the chapters, because we do it like a story unfolding. Okay? This is why it's important for everyone that jumps into the RP to actually get on the same page, which isn't really that hard. They can either contact me or contact freaking any of the other captains or seasoned role players that are in there to find out where we are in the plot. And this right here, also the head captain does not condone what you are requesting to occur. That is true. Because I would have rather had the Quincy detained until I could question him further. That's how I would have rather it played out, because we're trying to develop a treaty in order to open up the door for possible betrayals and shit later on in a new plot. However, you guys are correct. He should not have been able to get past the barrier, but you guys didn't even know of the barrier till I commented about the barrier. And so, I mean, you guys, no one even knew about it. So, other than the role players that were already there. And that was my bad. But anyways, like, the issue was the lack of communication between everyone. So, and I mean, if you just read all of this, it just kind of shows everybody just kind of ganging up on him. He's right. Like, it has always been the case. Like, we try to establish these treaties in order to open up new plot progressions and etc. And we do not ever attack unless the enemy is hostile. If they're presenting themselves as hostile, you don't just jump in and, I'm going to fucking chop your fucking head off, because that's not how RP plotted chats work. That's just not how they work. Like, at all. That is not how they work. I'm reading it. Now, they were all jumping to the conclusion that Izumo was treating it in the wrong manner because he simply was speaking with the intruder, which shouldn't have even been there because there was a barrier, so I don't know why anyone wouldn't let him in to begin with. But it's like he was speaking with the intruder, which is what we always do to obtain information or to figure out why they're there, to progress the plot. Okay, again, this is about plot progressing. This is a story mode plot. It is not a normal plotted chat. This is why it is a signature chat. It has followed us from Bleach community to my community. Okay, it was my original creation, and it is a story mode plotted chat, which means it's a damn story, dude. You go off the plot. You don't stray from the plot. You go off the plot. You let it unfold naturally, but you stick to the damn plot, which is why communication is necessary. And then everyone's assuming that he was trusting them because of the way that he acted, which was actually the correct way to approach the matter. Maya's incorrect because they have said numerous times that he apparently trusts this person. Like it says right here, it seems like you kind of trust him in some way. And then she says that a bunch of times, and then Regis says it, and then Black Seed says it. Everyone says it, so Maya's incorrect. And then see, she just continues to repeat herself like a damn broken record, whoever that person is. Okay? And it's just kind of fucking annoying. And I agree with Primus. Y'all are going too fucking deep on this. It's irritating, it's frustrating, it's annoying. Okay? And then you continue on. Continue on. Continue on. Now, proof-wise, I already gave that in the RP chat. I gave Askin permission to be in the freaking Sarietti forever ago. Like that, if you guys would communicate, if everyone would communicate, y'all would know that. Y'all would know that I done already gave Askin permission because he came in all hot and wild and shit and fucking wanted permission into the Sarietti and blah blah blah. He became our ally or whatever. They're gonna continue on. Continue on. Continue on. And then I think Regis is really just escalating it all, honestly. Like with all of his like stupid freaking comments, they're just a little outrageous. Some of them are just kind of outrageous and they just kind of escalate the situation. Now with this, he got in due to his abilities. He has immunity to certain types of Reiatsu. That could very well be possible because he is Quincy and because the freaking barrier is Kisuke level type of seal. So that is very, very possible, but I'm not entirely sure if that would be possible because again, I don't know much about the barrier. I ended up having to retake Captain Commander's seat back because the previous captain couldn't handle it. So the captain that I originally assigned to take my place. Anyways. Read it. Don't forget to read it all because there's a whole lot to read, man. I'm telling you. Oh, man, this chat went off the chain. And then she says, okay, right here kind of irritates the frick out of me. Right here, it says, apparently it's head captain's orders to let this man go free as if it was known about beforehand. It was known about beforehand. This is why communication is important. Ugh. Just keep reading. And then Izu makes that very valid point right here. If they know the history of the SS, yes, they would. The SS plotted chat story. If you knew the history, if they all knew the history, they would know what would be acceptable, where we're at, who's accepted, what's going on, etc. Everybody jumped in on their high horses and just went crazy hog wild, didn't bother to ask, didn't bother to communicate, just did whatever. And then she continues, this fucking sleep person. Why are you defending him so badly? Can you just, like, stop? Oh my god, it's like instigating, it's making this whole thing escalate even more. And then Dio makes a very valid point. High key, I think the way he got in was just negligence of the barrier. No one knew of the barrier till I made that comment about the barrier. And then he is poor Izu. I'm literally over here answering questions. And then we're going to get down. Wait a minute. Let's go back up real quick. Izuma said apparently he can just bypass it. Regardless, I'm shooting duck, watching a fire, remove, chill. No. And then Izu says, well, I mean, did he not just do so? And then Crazy jumps in. This is where he jumps in. Bottom line is, if this were instead a Soul Reaper walking into Quincy territory, the Soul Reaper would be mangled. And he would just go on. Crazy just kind of went on and everything. And everybody, there's like 6 different people in here right now that were, other than Primus, that were literally just fucking harping on Izumo when Izumo took the necessary steps because he knows what where the plot is at. He knows what we're doing with the plot. He's been there. He is a seasoned role player for the SS. He was just trying to explain where we are at in the plot and what is acceptable in the plot right now, where the plot is at, and that is all he was trying to do. You can read all this, and that is all he was trying to do. And then he says, no, were you guys here to witness the previous events that occurred in the timeline of this roleplay? This roleplay is a timeline. That is exactly what it is. It's like a freaking novel. It's a story-based plotted chat. Okay, you have to know the previous events to know where we are now. This is why communication is necessary, and this is why I'm so fucking pissed off right now. The previous event sounds like everyone's just trying to be friends. Yes, because the previous event, there was a huge war. You were not here, and no one freaking cared to communicate and find out where we are. If they had communicated, they would know that there was a big war that broke out. The SS had to be freaking rebuilt. Blah 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 blah. All sorts of crazy shit happened, and it was a series of a timeline of events that has occurred in the SS plotted chat for over a year now. Okay. And then Crazy's like, the friendship thing's not finna fly or whatever. And see, if they would have known, then they would know that this statement right here is also correct. If a Soul Reaper would have went into the Quincy territory, then we would have been respected as well because of the possible treaty. Okay? There is a treaty. What part of that do you guys not do? That, like, no one seems to understand this. We're trying to establish a treaty. Okay? And then Regis again with his crap, with his ridiculous dumb comments that just escalate it and make it seem even worse. He's just like, fuck that treaty. Okay, so fuck a whole entire year of fucking progression in a scripted story mode plotted chat that we have all put our time and efforts into to create. Okay, yeah, no, not gonna happen. And then she has a good point right here. When new captains arrive, we need to be informed if we have guests coming. Okay, that is a good point. Okay, because it should have been announced though that even though she's been kind of I don't even know throughout this whole thing, she's been one of the instigators as well. But she does have a valid point right there. Like, it should have been announced. Someone should have been told that they were coming. They cannot just simply show up out of nowhere. That's not how it works. However, they should not be treated with aggression because that's not how it works. And everyone would know that if they would communicate and find out where we are. I'm just going to keep reading. I do agree with this statement as well. And that is something that needs to happen, which is why every single captain of the Gotai needs to be invited to the plots chat, effective immediately, apparently. And then right here, seriously, she just needs to be quiet, because just saying it doesn't seem like you guys are good at informing people of past events that have occurred. There's nowhere for us to read any of this. If so, we haven't been informed of where it is. Okay, you don't need to read it. You communicate. That's what communicating is. You communicate with the other captains. You communicate with the other freaking squad members. You fucking communicate. Communication is not hard, dude. Communication is not hard, okay? It is not hard. If you all would have freaking communicated, it would have been just fine. We could have avoided this whole drama spew, everything, and I'd be a happy camper, but I'm not. I'm not a happy camper. They came into my cafe and just destroyed it. Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. This is true. Okay, all of this is true. And what Dark Seed up there said, crazy for them, it's an AU, that's ridiculous. That's not exactly what it is. But all of that's true. What happened is we go off of all this, like, past events of, like, the Quincy's and shit from the actual Bleach series, right? But we add our own twist because it's our own novel, it's our own plot, it's our own progression, it's our own shit. So that's what we do. So we add all of our own different twists and shit. So Crazy is correct. The Quincy's destroyed Hollows thousands of years ago. So, I mean, that's like, yeah. Ow. This cold is killing me. And then Crazy just kind of kept instigating it rather than stopping it or trying to, like, chill the situation. And as an agent, him displaying this kind of behavior doesn't paint him in a great color. So, I mean, he really should probably focus on that. And he goes on to say, screw peace. But that's not how that's not how our plotted chat is working right now. Like, it's hard to explain. It's a damn story. It's like reading a fucking action book. You don't ever know what's going to happen, but it's always going to stick to the story. It's going to be the story. And then Regis again with his stupid comments. Fuck the treaty, blah, blah, blah. Fuck those Quincy, blah, blah, blah. It's just kind of annoying. It's just really annoying. Fuck Hueco Mundo. Fuck the Quincy's. Fuck hell. I mean, just look at this. This is ridiculous. I mean, what he said there. This is exactly what he was trying to do. He was trying to clear up the timeline. He was trying to explain, but everybody was just being childish about it. Fuck this, fuck that, fucking blah, 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 blah. They weren't taking anything seriously, and it just felt like he was being ganged up on. And then it pretty much calms down from there. And that's actually incorrect. This statement, if you've actually watched all of Bleach and were knowledgeable on all of Bleach, that statement is incorrect. The main plot of Bleach is friendships, bonds, and then it's action and all that shit, because it's technically about a kid, which is Ichigo Kurosaki, who has all these special abilities, and he fucking discovers love in his life, he discovers friendship in his life, he meets new people and becomes friends with them in his life, and it's a story, it's an actual story. Bleach is not just all about action, that ain't what it's about. Okay, I've seen the series 12 times, over 12 times, I've watched all the movies, read the manga, I know all of it, okay, I know it by heart, I am like the biggest Bleach fanatic there is, so that statement is actually offensive. Moving on. Moving on. And then that's where Izumo kind of just gave up, because, like, everybody wasn't even taking him seriously. You guys, they were all just kind of being ridiculous and just kind of pushing it all out the window and making it seem just a little bit too crazy. And then it continues on, and there's really nothing else to it. But that's basically what he was talking about, is like he felt ganged up on, he felt bullied, and other people that were watching this chat while this was all occurring felt that same way. They felt like he was being pushed into a corner and picked on and picked apart by a bunch of wolves in a pack. That's exactly what they claimed, and that's how they felt about it. And now he doesn't want RP because no one wants to listen to him, when he was actually, everyone's saying, well, we should be informed about the plot, blah, blah, blah. He was trying to inform them. He was trying to inform everybody, but no one was listening. As you just saw, no one was listening, okay? And he was trying to tell everybody what was going on, but no one was listening. This is where communication comes into play. No matter what you do in life, IRL as well, communication is freaking key. Why can we not communicate? Is it really so hard to communicate? Anyways, now my head hurts, and that was all that there is. So, yeah, there's that.